Latinos don't say babe, we say mi amorcito, mi vida, mi papacito, papi, maldito desgraciado, mentiroso, infeliz, hermoso, te amo, mi amor.
If he was here right now, would you let him in?
Of course I would.
Why?
As long as he went through the proper, as long as
he came here legally. As long as Jesus Christ came to this country legally, we would let him in.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. No, thank you.
Hispanic, and I vote for Mr. Trump. We vote for Mr. Trump. Yes, Mr. Trump, we love you.
A few moments later.
Beyond betrayed. They used us. They actually, during the campaign, and I don't want to make this political, but during the campaign, the elected officials from the Republican Party, they actually told us that he was not going to touch the documented people.
I mean, he didn't. If you're documented, you're fine. If you're undocumented, then, yeah, man, it's going to be hell to pay.
Meanwhile.
My mom just got deported. My mom just got deported.
Beta! Beta male! Beta!
It's so not fair. It's so not fair. She's literally not a criminal.
Beta!
Like she literally just paid her taxes.
Stop the cap.
She's literally just. We're not safe. No one's safe. Please. Hug your loved ones, please.
What a girl. Beta girl.
I mean, let's be honest. If his mom was actually paying taxes or whatever, and she was in the country legally, she'd be fine. And that's the thing. Like, this servant of the soy completely crashed out. And he turned his camera on. You guys noticed in the beginning, making sure that he can start from the top and cry and do all this shit. And it's like, you're a guy. You don't need this much attention. Beta.
And your grandparents then, is that right?
Yes.
Came to this country? Did they do so through the legal process?
My grandpa entered in illegally.
Okay. We must be very clear. The type of immigration that we support is when you follow our rules and you come on our terms. Do you think that you have a right to immigrate to America?
My grandparents made that decision
Okay,
for me.
I'm not trying to attack your grandparents, but no one has a right to go to anybody else's country. It is a privilege, not a right, to come into America.
So it's a privilege to live a life that requires you to have clean water, clean food, clean
yes,
air.
Of course it is.
And you have to fight for that?
Yes, it is not.
But we didn't?
Hold on a sec. Well,
born here, we didn't fight for that?
Well, my ancestors did fight for that, actually, and I'm a very thankful recipient of many generations of Americans that fought for the greatest nation ever to exist.
By doing what? Coming here?
They came over here in 1620, fought in the Revolutionary War, fought in the Civil War, fought in World War I.
So because my grandpa didn't come here in
II.
1620, it gives him no right to have a good life?
He can fill out paperwork and wait in line, like the rest of the world.
Like, it's crazy to me because, like, if I went to these other people's countries that they came from or their lineage and background is from, I wouldn't be able to do any or say any of the things that these people were saying and be so demanding and be so rude and feel entitled to something. That's crazy. I would never do that. Even my bounty villains that are passport bros, they would never do that and act snobby like that in other countries.
Voters tell pollsters all over the country and here in Pennsylvania that immigration is one of the key issues that they're looking at this election, and specifically the influx of illegal immigrants from more than 150 countries. How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion that people want to rightly have. And you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but
right
do you,
now,
just a number, do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Brett, let's just get to the point. Okay, the point is that we have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired.
So your Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished. We have
it's a
an
rough
immigration
estimate of 6 million people have been released into the country. And let me just finish. I'll get to the question. I promise you.
I was beginning to answer.
Guys, she did every single thing possible but answer the damn question. This is ridiculous. And I can't believe people actually voted for her. She can't even answer a question, bro. I'm so happy she is not the president of the United States, but Donnie J. Trump is.
You know, America's still a free country, right?
Victor F. is a 74-year-old Trump supporter who lives in Palo Alto. He casually went about his business today, still sporting the red MAGA hat that prompted a loud confrontation with a woman at a Palo Alto Starbucks 2 days ago.
This crazy woman came over, started raving at me. She turned to the rest of Starbucks. Hey, everybody, here's this racist here. He hates brown people. He's crazy. He's a Nazi and so forth.
The woman, Rebecca Parker Mankey, then began taking photos and posting about it on her Facebook, saying she was going to shame him, get him fired, kicked out of clubs, and march up and down his street. Victor says she left, then came back and tried to rile the Starbucks crowd once more.
Hey, again, everybody here, this racist and so on. And then as she wrote in her thing, she was disappointed all the people didn't come and mob me.
In fact, the opposite happened. People started harassing Parker Mankey's family and her employer, Griffin Stringed Instruments, where she worked as an accountant. The store owner decided to fire her after he read her Facebook posts.
We feel that music is what brings people together, and so having someone then making comments that are divisive is just not consistent with our values.
No one answered the door at Parker Mankey's home, but a female spoke through a closed window saying Rebecca doesn't live here.
She didn't want to discuss the issues with me. She wanted just to scream about Nazis and so on.
Victor wears a yarmulke underneath his MAGA hat. He is Jewish, and so to him, being called a Nazi is hurtful.
People with an education should know better than to say stupid things like that.
My fear is that I'll get deported to a country that I don't know.
Kamila Ruilova Bustamante. She came across the border as a 7-month-old baby with her mother and grandmother. 23 years later, she's still not been able to get the paperwork she needs to be legal.
And that right there, my friends, is the question. What the hell were you doing all that time you were in the country? You came here as a 7-month-old baby, crossed over illegally because of your parents or whatever your reasoning for your parents bringing you over here out of your control. And now you're a grown adult and you still don't have your paperwork. What were you doing all that time other than taking glizzies?
Threat of deportation is imminent.
How frightened are you? What's your fear?
Having been here since I was 7 months old, my biggest fear, I think, would be that my family is torn apart.
We tell her story to voters, Trump voters, just an hour outside of DC to see if there was any empathy for Kamila. And there was some, but not much.
There's going to be sad stories.
She might be among them.
She might be among them. I don't know how it's all going to plan out. I would love to see, like, she came at 7 months old. It's not her fault she was here illegally, you know?
Her mum is with her, by the way, and is also still undocumented.
Well, her mom should go home at least, at the very least.
Others had less empathy.
Send her home. I mean, let her figure out how to get legal. We just got to get control over the border and know who's coming in here.
Did you vote for Trump?
I did.
It was one of the reasons because of immigration.
Yes. My family did it the right way. So why not go down the path of actually becoming official?
Mi nombre es Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. My name is
AOC, as she's known, is leading the charge, urging Joe Biden to give temporary protected status to 300,000 undocumented Ecuadorians, many of whom live in her district in New York.
We agree. Being undocumented is a problem. But our solution, instead of turning the military on our own people, is to document them. To document the undocumented.
Not so simple. The Immigration Office told us it has nearly 7.8 million immigration cases currently on its books, while other estimates put the total number of undocumented migrants at over 13 million people, a number that's risen sharply under President Biden. And officials told us there are more than 600,000 migrants with either criminal convictions or pending criminal charges.
This just goes to show you how crazy of a change that's happened within a few years. That was probably like back in 2023, 22, 24 possibly. And you see that many migrants were at our doorstep, literally like trying to cross the border. And now when you look at it with Trump in office, he's been in the office for almost 60 days, 2 months to be exact. And you have less people coming to the border now. You don't have that many people lining up. Like, Biden had the country wide open. And I'm like, bro, what did you expect to happen? If Donald Trump got in office, you should have got your paperwork a long time ago. And all of this stuff fell flat on his face. All of this that AOC was preaching about, documenting the undocumented, all of that fell through. And guess what happened? People are getting deported left and right.
No, yo tengo derechos. You said that you guys are looking for an individual?
Ma'am, if you're not willing to help us, then we're not going to have this conversation. I mean, if you're willing to help us, then we can have conversation, but if, other than that, like...
Okay.
I mean, clearly you're talking to them, telling them not to open the door, they have rights, I understand that, but we might not even be talking to these people. We're actually trying to figure it out.
Okay.
So...
That's totally fine. I'm sure you would have their contact information.
Well, this is the address that we have.
So. Okay.
But I am also trying to bring some kind of understanding to what really is going on. I know what you guys are doing.
Ma'am, that's not why we're here today. We're not
Well, that's not why you're here today. But it will happen.
In all fairness, what we're going to do is leave. We're looking for a certain subject. We will return and attempt to locate that subject.
Did you guys have permission to go all the way back there? No, I don't think you did have permission to go all the way to the back of the house. I'm not sure why you're not answering the questions, but that's a tell-all right there. So,
shut up, silly woman.
Despite all the people trying to interfere with ICE and, their investigations and picking up the people that they have already targeted, they already been patrolling and they know where their person is, where they work. Like, this is just the glimpse into the first round of what's going to happen. Like, this is very light, but pretty soon, a lot of people that are interfering with these things, with these investigations, like Tom Homan said, they're going to be held accountable. And pretty soon, a lot of people are going to be going to jail. But I don't know why people are so surprised, because Donald Trump already said what he was going to do right before he was president.
Is it realistic to deport everyone who's
You have
here
no
illegally?
choice. First of all, they're costing us a fortune. But we're starting with the criminals, and we got to do it. And then we're starting with others, and we're going to see how it goes.
Who are the others?
Others are other people outside of criminals.
Let me ask you about another group of people, the estimated 4 million families in America who have mixed immigration status. So I'm talking about parents who might be here illegally, but the kids are here legally.
I don't want to be breaking up families, so the only way you don't break up the family is you keep them together, and you have to send them all back.
Even kids who are here legally?
Well, what you're going to do if they want to stay with the father? Look, we have to have rules and regulations. We don't have to separate families. We'll send the whole family very humanely back to the country where they came. That way the family's not separated.
So no more family separations. You're not reviving the zero tolerance policy.
Depends on the family. The family may decide to say, I'd rather have dad go, and we'll stay here. And in which case they have that option.
If one of us eat, then we all ball. Sip coladas out in Cancun. Please stop praying for my downfall. It ain't coming no time soon. From the concrete, a little bitty rose grew.